Just three radio hosts on air dumb debating.
Yes, indeed. It's time for Dumb Debates. The way you can get involved in the Grum by asking us. And listen, we just came off a Thanksgiving holiday where I'm sure were plenty of dumb debates being had around the dinner table or sitting around the couch watching the Bears do stupid things. Or
why? What happened? What happened to the Bears?
A lot of stupid things. But recycle those. Bring them to us. Bring them to the table. Bring them to the people.
The people.
And send us your dumb debates in the JTech Construction Zone Twitter page at USC1620. Use the hashtag dumb debates. It makes it easier for us to find. You can email your dumb debates anytime to John at 1620thezone.com or Josh at 1620thezone.com. Equitable Bank inbox. And that's how it works. It's very, very simple.
Very simple.
John, I have one. I uploaded it as a video, and I received it from my brother earlier today. Shall we start with the video?
Okay. This is a video daily double.
Here we go.
All right, I asked my friends, and now I pass the baton to you. Would you rather pee every pee you're going to take in your life just in real time, so you basically take a really long pee, or you poop every poop you're going to have all at once, and it comes out a big mound, and you have to clean it up? So, to summarize, really long pee or really quick but tall poop?
Let's game this out.
It's dumb debates, John. What do you mean? I love it that I can watch John's reaction in the background. Nobody else could see it, but when it got like 20 seconds deep, John was like, "What in the world is happening right now?"
World.
My immediate
so the idea is so how long is the pee? I don't understand.
It's every pee you're ever going to take, just right there.
Yeah, so you knock it out. So, John, you're 50, whatever. Right. So you don't have very many peas or poops left. Nick and I have many more peas and poops left in front of us, right?
Well, you're constantly full of poop, so.
And so you would get to knock it all out in one fell swoop. You're like, look, I'm going to take this Sunday, and I'm just going to be peeing all day long, or I'm going to be pooping all day long, and it's all going to be done. And then you never will have to do that again.
Well, but you know what sucks about all of this?
What?
Is that you will then know how much. I mean, you won't know, but you'll have kind of an idea of how much time you have left on Earth.
I don't know. Do you think you can figure that out by how long your stream
No, but
lasts?
it's just the idea. It's just the idea of it.
If you're going,
because then you'll spend the rest of your life going, okay, I was on the toilet for X amount of minutes, or this is how much,
I'm telling you, trying to figure out the average seconds per pee and multiply it out.
That's how your mind is going to work. I guarantee you that's how your mind is going to work.
Also, what if you poop and you're only in there for like a minute?
Well,
yeah,
you're about to die, baby.
Exactly.
Time to die.
So where my brain goes immediately is it's easier to be on my phone when I'm pooping. If I'm going to hunker down for a minute, I'm going to want my phone. And I know there are freaks who use their phone while they pee, but that is insane. There's no reason to use your phone when you pee. If it's a long pee, I guess, but you're pooping, you're on your phone. So I think I would probably rather be pooping, and then I'll just have to remind myself to flush every, couple minutes.
Yeah. Give me the poop. Knock that out. I think peeing is more relieving than pooping is. Pooping feels like more of a chore. I'm pooping. I'm getting that done. I never have to worry about it again.
Now, do you think it'll be the pooping based off of like, okay, so 5 years from now, you're going to be sick. So you're also going to have sick poops in this period of time? Or is it just going to be like normal, healthy poop all day?
Nick, it's a combination. It's like, oh, hey, normal stool. Oh, no, nasty. I had 4 beers last night stool. You're going to have to deal with it all.
See, and I don't like that because some of those are uncomfortable.
Again, you're gonna go mad. You're going to go absolutely mad then trying to figure out how much time you have left on this earth.
You have to answer the question, John. You cannot do the thing where you just ignore the question.
I'm just throwing that out there as something
fine.
that no one else thought of. You will go mad doing this. With that said, I would just go find an empty field somewhere and just, take care of
boys.
Yeah. Oh my
Excellent.
God. That is another terrible poop and pee dumb debate.
Great question. Tay asks, well, where did it go? It's cold every day for the rest of your life. You have the choice between gloves or a hat. What are you choosing?
What did I miss? I'm sorry.
It's cold every day for the rest of your life. You have the choice between gloves or a hat. What are you choosing?
Gloves.
Why?
Well, because I at least have a hood on my jacket and I can use the hood, but your fingies, if they get cold, then
Oh,
they
I didn't
get
think
really
of that.
cold.
Yeah. If you got a hoodie, you just use the hoodie to replace the
Right.
hat.
And a hood won't replace a hat completely,
and
but
the
it's good enough.
frostbite happens to the extremities. So
Yeah.
Cold hands hurt more than cold ears. Give me the gloves, baby.
Gloves for sure.
Yeah.
Now,
Give me the gloves.
if it was all head covering versus gloves, then I would go with head covering because most of the heat escapes from your head, so keeping your head warm is vital to keeping the rest of you warm.
Is that true, or is that just a wives' tale?
No, that's true. You can always stick your hands in your
Your
pocket.
pockets. That's true.
So I had this problem the other morning. I was pumping gas, and my truck has this really fun quirk where if I can't pump the gas too quick, otherwise it'll overflow. It's fun. So I didn't have my gloves on me because it was the first really cold morning, so I had to keep alternating between putting one hand in my pocket and one on the pump, vice versa, and that got annoying.
How about this though, John?
Mm.
Shoveling snow.
Mm.
Imagine how miserable shoveling snow would be without
again,
gloves.
That's why I'm saying I would have the gloves. As long as I got the hoodie, I can use the hood.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. But if it was all head covering, I would do that, and I would just say, well, I can't wear gloves, so someone else is going to have to shovel.
Nice. Sorry, kids. Get outside.
Get out of shoveling.
I've seen people with little tiny baby like RC trucks, and they put a snowplow on the front of them, and I've seen people scoop out their driveways like that, so you can be in the comfort of your own home and do it.
Our friend Star Wars Fiend, a.k.a. Jar Jar, writes,
nice.
Nebraska's current quarterbacks have all gone missing.
Oh.
Which nowadays in the portal is not that surprising. And you have to pull one of the following out who Nebraska, it's kind of written funny.
Oh, tough looks, Jar Wars or Star Wars.
Jar
Following
Wars.
out of the NE lost quarterback portal. Okay. Here's the question. They've all gone missing. You only have these three quarterbacks to choose from.
Former Portal Boys.
Chubba Purdy, Casey Thompson, Jeff Sims.
Honestly, no offense, Star Wars Fiend. I feel like this is an easy one, isn't it? The answer is Casey.
Yeah.
Yeah, the answer is Casey Thompson. It's a pretty easy one for me. I don't even have to think twice.
Yeah.
No offense, Jar Wars.
Casey was pretty good.
Jar
as
Wars
far as
Fiend.
in this offense where the quarterback's not asked to run, I mean, Thompson wasn't much of a runner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Star Wars Fiend says Chubba. No, you're wrong, Star Wars Fiend. Look, I think that Casey Thompson is a bit overrated if we're being honest, but he is a much better quarterback than Chubba.
Yes.
Much better.
I would agree.
I want Chubba, but only so I can bring the Sipple drop back.
Understandable, Nick. Andrew asks.
Oh, he did transfer. He did transfer yesterday, and you forgot to use it.
Yeah.
That's true, Nick. Andrew asks, would you have your favorite football team have a winless season if it guaranteed your co-host favorite teams wouldn't win a championship again in your lifetime?
Oh, well, that's easy. I can sacrifice one bad Rams season if the Cowboys never win again. Now, the disadvantage to this is I already know the Cowboys are never going to win again because Jared Jones is going to live forever.
No, he is not.
So I almost feel like I don't need to take this bargain from the devil because it's already written in stone that the Cowboys are going to suck. But that said, if Dallas actually got a competent owner someday, I would make that sacrifice. Absolutely.
This question doesn't super apply to me because I don't feel anything toward the Cowboys or the Rams. But if Josh's favorite team is the Bills, which it really is, and he just hasn't admitted it yet, then absolutely. Josh, you love the Bills.
Yeah, see, this is an easy question because literally Josh picked the worst team on planet Earth, the team that I have hated since I was a child. Now, if Josh's favorite team were the Bills, I probably would not go for this because I don't have a problem with the Bills.
And if we're talking baseball, I mean, the Cubs aren't going to win anything again anyway.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I never had ill will towards the Rams, but because of you, John, I kind of want you to not ever have any sports joy again because you take so much pleasure and joy in me not having sports joy.
So much joy recently. Joy.
Maybe you'll live forever, you 50-whatever-year-old man. Maybe you have many years ahead of you, too.
Well, I don't know. I'll let you know when I finish up my poop in some random.
I hope you have a 20-year dump.
Yeah, sure. Let's do this.
Scott writes, Nick
Yes.
likes names with alliteration.
I do. I love alliteration.
If each of you had to change your name to have alliteration, are you keeping your first or your last name?
My last name is cool, so I'm gonna keep my last name. I'll be Greg Grimm.
I think I'll go with my first name.
No, I think you have to be Gary Grimm because you always have to have a
Gary?
name that matches another name of someone who works or has worked at this station.
Yeah, but the Greg is the GR and it matches the Grimm.
Yeah, but Gary Grimm?
Gary? Plus, you and Gary could have a podcast, Nick. The Gary Pod.
The
I could
Gary's
be
pod. The two Garys.
Could be just
Yeah.
like Gary.
Two hot Garys. There you
Gus
go, Nick.
Grimm. Ooh, I don't hate Gus Grimm.
I think I'll keep my first name because my parents gave it to me. I don't want to remove my first name.
Your parents also gave you your last name.
And they didn't give it to me. It just was bestowed. But like they chose Josh. I'm a Josh. I'm going to keep Josh.
Do you think they thought really hard about choosing your name, or are they just like, yeah, Josh? Because that was one of the most popular names when you were born.
No, I think they thought really hard about it. My parents think really hard when they do things. Nick?
The problem was when Josh was born, the baby next to him was named Doofus, and they wanted to use Doofus, but they didn't want to copy somebody's.
Oh,
Doofus
sorry,
Peterson.
Doofus Peterson didn't happen.
What would you do, John? Would you be John Johnson or would you be
John
Bishop
Johnson?
Bishop?
I think so. As much as I like my last name,
But imagine Barry Bishop. That's a superhero name, John. That's a Marvel superhero name.
if I had to pick, I'd probably. What would I pick if
Bart?
I had?
Bart.
No,
Bart
I don't want
Bishop, my buddy Bart.
Bart. Maybe. I don't know what I would pick if I had to choose a B first name.
Nick, by the way, speaking of Marvel, do not forget that this week's Movie Club movie, after a 3-week hiatus, is Deadpool versus Wolverine.
It is.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
It's Deadpool and Wolverine.
Deadpool and Wolverine, yeah.
My bad.
I think I would take my first name.
Okay.
And so it would have to be like John Johnson or
That's so
John
boring.
Jones or
John Jones. That
John
sounds like
Jones sounds like a
doctor.
serial killer.
it does actually.
Travis
It does.
says, is being given something better than being bestowed something?
Oh, no. I think bestowed is way cooler.
Bestowed is cooler because I think it's more like big picture. You know, you're getting something like very large from a family
Bestowed-
member or something.
Yeah, bestowed is like you're getting a magic sword, but given it's like, hey, here's a stick.
Given a magic sword.
Yeah, I'd rather be bestowed a magic sword than given a stick. Josh, what about you?
I guess hard to argue with that.
John Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Nice.
Oh, then your name could be my name too.
It could be. It could be.
Kevin emailed.
go ahead.
Oh, do you got one, John?
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Kevin emails in. Which one of the following rules or potential rule changes make the least amount of sense? Hurdling. Per NSAA rules, if you are too athletic to hurdle the defender, similar to professional football players like Saquon Barkley, you are punished with a 15-yard penalty. 2, the fumblerooski.
Is that actually true?
I had no idea. I'm learning something as I read this question.
Oh my God.
NCAA outlawed the play because the University of Nebraska perfected it and other teams didn't like it. 3, the tush push. NFL Rules Committee has tabbed the idea of abolishing the tush push because NFL teams can't figure out how to stop it. It is dangerous to player safety. Which of those rules or potential rule changes is, what did he say, make the least amount of sense?
It's
See,
the hurdling one. That's so dumb.
I don't know,
You
man.
can't
Like high school
jump.
kids, though, doesn't it makes a little sense with high school
No,
kids?
it doesn't. You can't jump.
Well, I mean, kids, I think they're more likely to hurt themselves because
That's the
Saquon
point, John.
Barkley
It's
is
like they jump and then a player flips him and they land on their head and then they're paralyzed. John here for players being paralyzed. Interesting.
children being paralyzed.
No,
Yep.
come on.
Minors.
Jump?
A
Did the
minor.
NCAA really outlaw the fumblerooski because Nebraska was too good at it?
No, they outlawed. They just. I don't know why they outlawed it. I'd have to look.
Nebraska
back, but
was good at it, though, Nick.
Well,
It
yeah,
felt a
but
little
other teams ran it too.
editorialized.
In fact, Oklahoma ran it against Nebraska once, and it worked very well.
By the way, to go back to the odd name, Scott says, no BS. I have a coworker whose name is Tommy Thomas. That is the
Nice.
dumbest crap that I've ever heard.
Parents must have hated him.
Seriously, you can't
That's
come up with
amazing.
anything more creative than Tommy when his last name is Thomas?
I guess not.
I'd be so mad.
I'd get rid of that hurdling. I don't like that. You can't jump over somebody.
Man.
Again,
It's
John,
going to
they're
get paralyzed,
kids.
and John, this take is going to age terribly.
Okay, it's more likely to happen just because they got hit.
They're going to call
versus
you
they
Mr.
jumped and got
Paralyzer.
flipped upside down.
The Paralyzer.
I mean, that's literally the other two are just like are plays. This is a physical act that happens commonly to the game. where people are, hey, there's a fallen player, so you jump over him, or you jump over the pile to get into the end zone. I mean, if this rule got put in, I don't think poor Dowdell would ever scored a touchdown this year. He was always jumping.
This is just in high school, John. It's for the children.
Well, you know what? Maybe the sport shouldn't be played by the children if it's that dangerous.
Hey, maybe not a bad idea.
Ryan in Delaware.
Oh, hello, Ryan.
Oh, I'm sorry you're in Delaware.
Nice.
How is this word supposed to be pronounced? It's the word CAFE.
Cafe.
Like a sane person, calfe, or like a raging psychopath, cafe.
I think I say cafe.
It's
you want to go to the
calf.
Yeah,
cafe.
Do you want to go? Though, John, we've had a read over the years that had this word, and I feel like in the read we called it cafe for some reason. Why did we do that? Which read was that?
Maybe it depends on
I don't
context.
remember.
Maybe if you're going to like a fancy French place, it's cafe.
Yeah, I call it the cafe. Let's go to the cafe. See,
Yeah.
now, man, you start saying a word a lot, and it's like, am I saying this word correctly? And you sound like an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Ryan
feel like I'm an
apparently
idiot.
thinks people that say cafe is a raging psychopath.
Nice.
Raging. Wow.
That's what he says in his tweet. He said a raging
Triggered Ryan says this is going back to the Jar Jar question about the quarterbacks, but he says it's about coaches. So you have to win a game, John. The only coaches you can find are Bill Callahan, Mike Riley, and Scott Frost. Who do you choose?
Callahan.
Same.
I have no opinion. Callahan, sure.
John, I ended up rewatching. This is such a me thing to say. I ended up rewatching the end of the Illinois game in 2015 last night. Dude,
Sicko.
that was so bad. I had forgotten all the particulars of it. They could have handed the ball off, and then on fourth down, there would have been 20 seconds left. And they threw it, and then they threw it, and then they gave up a long pass, and then they lost because they were idiots. Yeah, Bill Callahan for sure.
From Brian, when each of you are old.
Wait. Oh, so this question must just be for Nick and I.
Got him.
What will be each host's age demographics? We used to have to walk uphill both ways in the snow to school.
Oh. Oh, I got one. It would be something about pornography and the speed of the internet.
That's true, because
Back in
when
my
I was
day, we had dial-up garbage.
I didn't have that.
Yeah, and it took a long time for videos to load, Nick.
Did it? I know my dad did have dial-up for a while.
Yeah. I feel like pornography is always, effervescent for people. Is that
The
right
easy
word?
one for me is, we only got to see maybe 2 or 3 Nebraska games on TV a year.
That's good.
And not every game was on TV, and we had to listen to the radio.
Mine would honestly probably be we used to buy physical video games.
Oh yeah, anything like that, Nick. Physical media definitely ages somebody.
In my lifetime alone,
yeah.
it's just transitioned to all digital media. I buy games digitally now. I barely buy physical.
I remember when that type of stuff first happened, when it was like you could buy a TV show on iTunes. I'm like, why? I want the DVD. And now I'm like, why would I buy a DVD?
Another one, and I've told this to my little brother, and he's been like, what? This kid's 11. I'm like, you used to not be able to play with people if they had a PlayStation and you had an Xbox, but you can just do that now. You can play the same games now.
This is such a silly conversation when I think about, because I've just gone through my Rolodex. The original TV video game was Pong.
Yes.
And that was the only thing it was. It was just hardwired into that console.
Mm-hmm.
There weren't, and then the cartridges, the Atari 2600, the cartridges, so you could buy different games and plug them in and play them. We went from cartridges to CD or, DVD, type things.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there was probably different stuff in between. And now it's, you just download stuff.
Yeah. Well, even streaming music. I used to buy CDs.
Yep.
All the time.
Well,
Jordan
same
says
way. I remember growing up and getting records when I was a real little kid.
I feel like that's come back.
And then, but if the only way you could listen
was a record,
and then it was cassette tapes, and then it was CDs, and then it was, you could download them on your on an iPod or right? iPod.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And now I can have everything on my telephone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how about that? Along those lines, Jordan says we texted each other using the number pad. Yeah, explain that. Explain T9 to a kid today. They're like, what? What is T9?
I never liked T9. I was a Word guy.
Yeah.
I preferred
I was Word, and then I switched over to T9.
I got so fast at Word. I didn't have to deal with it very long, though, because I only had one flip phone, and then I had a keyboard right away.
Nice.
It is. I mean, when I just think back to how, media is consumed, not our media, but like, recorded videos or recorded music or video games, and just think about how all of that has evolved.
Yeah.
It's
how much space it took up.
It's mind-blowing.
It's really funny to see how big old PlayStation 1 memory cards were compared to what things are now.
Oh, yeah, when you used to have to buy a memory card.
Yeah, that sounds wild today. And it was like 8 megabytes or some crap.
And of course, when we had the Atari, it didn't keep track of your records. So you had to keep track of your records. I mean, once the game was shut down, there was nothing. And you just played the game. You couldn't play seasons because it wasn't saving anything. You were just playing.
Yeah.